Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Mark from Sound Matters. Today we're going to take a look at Audio Technica's portable, rechargeable record player, the Soundburger. So not only am I going to take a look at the Soundburger in full and review it, but I'm going to answer that all-important question that I know you've all been thinking. Don't lie to me now. Can I take my record player to the pub? Bottoms up. The original Soundburger was first released in 1983 and it was a portable record player with fold-away headphones and was actually marketed in the United States as the Mr. Disc. Fast forward to 2022 and Audio Technica released the limited edition reissue with new modern features to celebrate its 60th anniversary. The reissue was so popular that units sold out extremely quickly, and so subsequently Audio Technica then in 2023 announced that the Soundburger would be reissued as a permanent fixture. The Soundburger, in my opinion, is part novelty item, part affordable, accessible record player. For somebody like me that already has a higher end setup, it's a bit of retro fun, but for somebody just getting into this hobby, it's a real compact option that you could even take to your friend's house. Quick overview of the features of the Soundburger. Lovely compact unit, nice 80s retro aesthetic. You can get this in black like this one, or there's a white version or a red version. The reissue for 60th anniversary was red, I believe. That's no longer available. That was a limited edition, but you can still get it in black, white or yellow. There's a tone arm lock at the back. This is crucial, of course, if you're moving it around to make sure the tone arm stays secure, doesn't get damaged, but needs to be unscrewed before we can do anything. So we'll just quickly do that now. Nice carry handle at the back, of course, and the connectivity is here as well. So we've got a line out if you want to go analog, and then we've got the USB port for charging the battery. It is a Bluetooth unit though, so there's Bluetooth connectivity button, the Bluetooth connection button, the usual standard stuff for pairing basically. You know, you set your device into pairing mode, press and hold the button here and you get the two devices to sing and talk to each other. We all know about that sort of stuff. We've got the power button at the top here, and speed control is controlled between 33 and 45 RPM from this button at the top here. To open it up, there's a little latch on the other side here. You just pull that way and it will raise. The tone arm is really cleverly held in place. I'm just going to shift the light again, by this little rubber piece which just sits here. So the tone arm sits in there, a little tone arm rest. But the really smart thing about it, if we move it over to the rest here, and it will click in place and be secure, this comes out and it doubles up as a 45 adapter. That's a really neat piece of design. This is a die-cast aluminium platter as well, so no plastic here, and with the platter being so small, of course, you need that weight to get any speed consistency whatsoever. So that's a really nice high quality feature. Obviously then you can place your record on top like so, close the unit, and then we put the power on. Once you've got yourself connected to Bluetooth, you'll get a steady light at the top here where you can control the speed. You can just see that I'm going between 33 when the light's off and 45 when the light is on. Obviously we're playing a 45 here, so we're going to 45 RPM. Then all we have to do, shift the arm over like this, drop the stylus down in the running groove, and hey presto, you're playing a record on a portable, battery-powered record player. This is their entry-level cartridge, of course, that you see on a lot of entry-level turntables. Actually a really decent sounding cartridge for this price point, way under $50, and it sounds very credible indeed. And now you can even swap out the spherical stylus that it comes with for a black edition that just pops back on here. That is an elliptical stylus, so you can even get a little bit of an upgrade path on something as simple as the Soundburger. Being a typical bloke, I didn't read the instructions when I opened this and didn't realise that they intend you to close the lid when you're playing, which in hindsight really makes sense since it's called the Soundburger after all, but somehow this just felt a little precarious to me, that I might knock the arm during playback. I actually preferred operating it, which you can do, with the lid up. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. It just doesn't have that Soundburger, in inverted commas, aesthetic. So, you know, it's kind of up to you, but I quite like operating it like this, but there's no doubting that it kind of looks cooler when we're operating it with the lid closed, wouldn't you say? The other neat thing I didn't realise, because I didn't bother to read the instructions, was that the record puck also can double up as a record stabilizer for regular 12-inch records. So pop it down on there and it's a really nice snug fit. So it does provide a little bit of stability and grip for that record on that small platter. I think that's a really neat, again, a really neat design feature of this whole product. Place it down like so, and there you go, 12-inch record with a stabilizer added. With the basics covered, I think it's time for a well-earned pint. Let's take the Soundburger on the road. Can I take my record player to the pub? Now that's not a phrase I thought I would be saying anytime soon, but here we are. I have the said Soundburger. We're going to take a wander into town, go to my favourite local pub, and we're going to play some records. Unfortunately, it's not the nicest of days for it. It is a little bit on the overcast side, unfortunately, and it's drizzling a little bit with rain, but feel free to put your jokes about the stereotypical British weather down in the comments of this video. Let's go into town. Now, my town doesn't have a record store as such, but what it does have is a little pop-up inside this beautiful antiques emporium here that sells antiques going back hundreds of years. So there's a pop-up few stalls of records inside this antiques place. Quite useful. It's a place called Revolution Records, based in Hertfordshire in Royston. So they have a little stand inside here. So that's quite handy for some new, but mostly used records. Maybe a sort of 60-40 split. But we also have a few charity shops. They used to be really good. You used to be able to get absolute bargains. I picked up classic albums for about £2-3 many years ago. But sadly, those days are now really gone. And it's basically a bin worth of almost worthless records for the most part. You might get lucky occasionally, so we might take a look anyway. Unfortunately, the antiques place doesn't open on a Tuesday when I was filming. However, I did pop into one of the charity shops and alas, nothing to see here. Can you believe I once found a copy of the Beatles' A Hard Day's Night in here for just £2. And here we are outside my favourite pub with Soundburger in hand, and it's time to head inside and play a few records. The pub is called the Queen's Head after Catherine of Aragon, who was imprisoned here whilst Henry VIII dismantled the monasteries so that he could divorce her. So a little bit of history connecting us to Catherine of Aragon there. First things first, let's grab a pint. Mine's a Timmy Taylor's Landlord. Lovely. Okay, so this is all just a bit of fun, of course, and a huge thank you is in order to the landlord, Richard, for supporting my insane behaviour here. But hey, vinyl nights down your local could be a real use case for these players. Got a handful of records with me and my Sonos speaker plus a set of Shure M50 wireless headphones. First up is Ride a White Swan by T-Rex, but I've also bought a copy of The Doors' Light My Fire, Miles Davis' Kind of Blue, and a lovely old trad jazz 10-inch. Moving on to the Miles Davis classic in a blue vinyl, and I think this is where the Soundburger aesthetic really comes into its own. It looks super cool with anything coloured vinyl, particularly that clear screen on the top, the whole 80s aesthetic with it, it really pops. And you know what? You can't deny it. A little bit of jazz and another pint. Come on guys, admit it. Come on. It wasn't such a crazy idea after all, was it? You want to do it, don't you? You want to take a record player to a pub? I think I'm losing my marbles, you know. Oh God, I'm not turning into this guy, am I? No. I'd have to be sipping some sort of grapefruit IPA or some sort of pumpkin concoction for that to be the case. Did I mention this pub has its own parrot?
I don't think it was.
Imagine drinking a shot.
Now, where was I? In all seriousness, I really like the Soundburger. It's just so much fun. And you know what? It sounds and performs infinitely better than a Crosley. It's not audiophile in sound quality or anything like that. It's a little bit mid-range boxy, perhaps. But for $200, or around about £200 here in the UK, it's hours of fun. I can really see myself grabbing a bunch of 45s and getting the family involved with the Soundburger. And you know what? I'm actually considering taking this with us on our next road trip. Okay, so quick interjection here, because of course, taking a record player and a Sonos speaker to your local pub might seem like a pretty obnoxious thing to do, which of course it kind of is. But I know the landlord very well, and I knew when it wouldn't be busy, and we spoke about it first. But that aside, it was just a little bit of fun. And when I was done with filming, what really surprised me was just how interested the local punters were. So of course, naturally, I've got filming gear out, I've got cameras with me and microphones and everything. That piques interest alone. So they were asking sort of what I was up to, what I was doing. I was in the other bar, where the main sort of area is the other bar. So I was away from the main area, but then when I came to join everybody else after I was done, it really just interested me just how interested people were in the Soundburger as a product. You know, it piqued people's interest, it caught people's eye. And then I whipped it out, explained what I was doing, explained what it was. And you could see that it just brought joy to people. They were enthralled by it. There were people who hadn't played records perhaps in years, that it brought back, it lit them up is all I can say. I could just say that, you know, genuinely people enjoyed it. So I can really see sort of almost pop-up vinyl nights with something like a Soundburger being a real thing. This is just one use case scenario. You know, the nostalgia, the novelty, the kind of retro cool aside, it really is a fun product, and that just reinforced it to me. Just their reactions were priceless, to be quite frank. I've always said this hobby should be fun. Sure, it's, you know, fantastic and great to try and squeeze as much performance out of a system and constantly hunting for that sonic nirvana. But on the other hand, you can also take it far too far, to the point where it stops being enjoyable. In that sense, the Soundburger has been an absolute breath of fresh air. I hope you enjoyed this light-hearted and slightly different approach to reviewing a fun retro product like the Soundburger. If you think you'd like to pick one up for yourself, there is an affiliate link in the description of this video. Small commission to me, no extra cost to you, really helps this channel a great deal. Thank you ever so much. There's my general discount codes that are in every single video from my partners and sponsors as well. Products I really love and endorse. That helps so much as well. If you are new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. But guys, until the next video, keep enjoying the music. I'll see you in that next one. Cheers. Or should I say, cheers. It's empty, by the way. It's not even 12 o'clock. Got a cup of green tea here.